All right, everybody. Well, hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Thank you for sharing your lunchtime or early afternoon, late afternoon time with me. I know you guys are from a little bit of everywhere, but first and foremost, can y'all see me okay? And can you hear me okay? I wanted to just kind of do a quick sound check, video check, make sure that you guys could see everything today. Oh, perfect. Thank y'all so much. So today's session is for students starting IDS 105 on March 4th, which is next week. How are we already here? So exciting to be starting a new term. If you have not already, make sure you head over to the chat, say hello, let us know you're here, let us know your major, let us know where you're from. That's one of the best parts about these live webinar sessions. So first and foremost, your experience here at Southern New Hampshire University is important to us. It is our policy and practice to create an inclusive and accessible learning environment. If there are aspects of instruction or course design that present barriers to accessibility, please notify the Online Accessibility Center, the OAC, as soon as possible at 866-305-9430. You can also email them at oac@snhu.edu or visit the Online Accessibility Center website. What does this mean and why does it matter to you, or why should it matter to you? The Online Accessibility Center is a team here at SNHU. It's a department from the university that is here to help you get content like webinar contents, classroom content in a way that works best for you and your learning style. So if you have questions about this, you think it might be something that'll benefit you, please reach out directly to our amazing OAC team. So y'all, I am so excited to see so many faces. Actually, I should say not faces, names here in our chat. Again, if you haven't yet, pop over there, say hello. As I'm live and sharing my camera, I can't see the chat on my computer screen, but I do have my phone pulled up next to me. So I will answer most common questions that students have about IDS 105 as we go through this session today. But if there's something you want to know, or if I missed anything, I will make sure I check the chat at the end of this session so that all questions get answered before I let y'all go, okay? So a couple of webinar reminders, you don't need a microphone or camera. They're not enabled for this session. You just need to be able to see the screen and hear me, okay? This is an academic space, so always be mindful of your conduct, always, but especially in these academic spaces. So academic spaces here at SNHU, these webinars are one of those places, your classroom setting, SNHU Connect, MySNU, all those places are academic spaces. So always be mindful of your conduct. These webinars are not graded. So these webinars are not required. You do not have to watch them from week to week. You do not have to view them. You don't have to come back and look at them. But what they are here for is to help you with your module content and assignments from week to week. So every single week, there will be a webinar. Most of them for IDS 105 are on demand, which means they're pre-recorded. They're posted on our IDS 105 First Year Experience YouTube page, which I put the link in the chat and I'll put it in there again before we get done. They're loaded every single Monday. So you can go and look for whatever week you're looking for. You can watch the webinars as many times as you need to, and they're just here for your support and your success, okay? So who am I? Oh, this is me. Hello, everybody. I am Melanie Schaub, and I am an adjunct faculty member here at SNHU, and I'm also an academic partner. What does that mean? Well, I teach IDS 105, and I also teach another class called SNHU 107. I don't know if any of you might have taken that, but I have a section of those classes, but I also am an academic partner, and I get the wonderful opportunity of working with all of your faculty. Plus, I get the opportunity of working with all of you here in the learning community spaces, even if I might not be your direct classroom instructor. So this is me, this is my family. I need to update the picture of my children because they're now going to be 13 and 10, and they look really young in these photos as I look at them. I don't know if anybody else feels like that. Time just flies. Some fun facts about me, because I think it's neat to get to know the people at the university that you'll be working with. And collaborating with is I love the water. I live out just outside Pensacola, Florida. If anybody's familiar with the Gulf Shores area, our beaches are absolutely stunning. They're a wonderful family or just any kind of vacation destination. I'm very lucky to live here because I'm a part-time mermaid. I love the water, whether it's the beach, the pool, the lake, the river, I don't care. It's one of my favorite things. It's so calming, and I just absolutely love being by water. I'm also an avid road bike cyclist, if I have any fellow cyclists in here. I love to read. So I taught a webinar just before y'all, and they had so many book recommendations for me. I have to go back and look at them. So if you ever have any book recommendations, I read all across the genres. I'd love to review them. I've even had some published authors several published authors actually in my classes, which is really pretty cool. I love coffee. We were chatting about coffee just a little bit ago. A couple people were like, I need another coffee. I need some caffeine. It's that afternoon, right? So I'll be making an iced coffee when I get done with y'all. But the biggest thing is that I need you guys to know that the departments and the people here at SNHU are a resource for you, and I am one of them. The learning community is really a space for you that is outside of your classroom. So it's located outside of Brightspace. So Brightspace is where your classes are, right? That's where you see your syllabus, is where you see your assignments, it's where everything is graded. The IDS 105 learning community is outside of that class space. It's in SNHU Connect. Are y'all familiar with SNHU Connect? I know some of you mentioned that you've had a couple of terms here at SNHU under your belt, and some of you are brand new. So SNHU Connect is outside of your classroom space. It is where you can find connections to the university. So a lot of clubs, organizations, plus there's a dedicated class space for IDS 105. Again, nothing's graded in that space. It is a space for you to get to know and chat with other IDS students who are currently taking the class, or even students who have already taken it. A lot of students that have taken it, often when new students have questions, they tend to respond, which is pretty awesome. It's a place where I will post webinar reminders, webinar recording links, just any kind of just-in-time resources like the focus videos, which are short, under 5-minute, quick videos that walk you through a concept or an assignment in your IDS 105 class. I post some motivational stuff just to kind of keep you moving and give you that extra support from week to week. Again, all not graded, all not required, but a lot of students definitely say that it helps them move through the class from week to week, especially if they're stuck or have questions. What does that equal? A very happy and successful and connected student, which is our goal here at the university, is to connect you to SNHU for your success. So we are with you all the way on the journey to the graduation stage when you get your diploma, right? So I do have a special guest with me. I think Dr. J is still here. James, are you still here?
I am.
Yay, perfect. So I get the pleasure of introducing you to Dr. James Winfield. He is one of our amazing associate deans here at SNHU. His official title is he's the Associate Dean of FYE and Retention Strategies. FYE is first year experience, just so y'all know. And since I shared some fun facts about me, I also like to share fun facts about Dr. J. Now, Dr. J is what his students call him, but he does go by both Dr. James Winfield and Dr. J. But he is a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan. We're my Marvel fans. Our session right before this had lots of Marvel fans. So they were pretty excited, but there were a few that weren't. He loves to cook. He's a family man, and he is a resource for you. He has a team of people that are here, in addition to himself, who are a resource for you and your success here at SNHU. So, Dr. J, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Melanie, and welcome to you all. And so glad that you are continuing or starting your academic journey at SNHU. We're so glad to have you a part of our community. And as Melanie mentioned, the SNHU family. But with this, we want you all to first know that resources are here. You're going to hear this throughout a lot of what Melanie will share with you all. But just know that I know that being in an online space, sometimes it can be a bit distant and you're thinking, okay, well, where do I get my support? Know that there are other people on the other side of the screen that are here to help you out and that are ready to support you. Many of you have been in communication with folks from admissions, from your academic advisors. They've all been diligent in supporting you, and just know that that community will grow as you are part of SNHU. But as mentioned, my role specifically is with first year experience and retention strategy. So, in a nutshell, what that means is to support you throughout your first year, to think about all the different ways that you can get connected, and then also to retain you and help you go through your time at SNHU and to support you academically and in the co-curricular aspect, which is out of the classroom experiences. So with that, if you don't remember anything, I want you to remember this acronym. But I'm confident you're going to remember a lot, as Melanie's going to engage you in a great dialogue and conversation about what's upcoming in IDS 105 and just in the academic curriculum, which is a course that I also teach as well. So who knows? I may have some of you in my section. So with that, remember PEN. Our mascot at SNHU is the Penman. And with that, I want you to remember PEN, PEN, and that's an acronym that stands for persist, engage, and network. In the context of your first year experience, I want you to think about that. We want you to first and foremost persist in life. We want you to persist and thrive with your family goals. All the things that you have in front of you. We know that many of you are managing a lot. Some of you are first generation college students like myself, going into college and not understanding what is this thing and how do I navigate it can be a large undertaking. But just know that you have supports. But we also want you to persist from term to term and throughout your courses. So seeking support to help you on with that. And with that goes into the next point, which is engage. Engage with your resources, engage with your goals, and know and share that with individuals so that we can support you in achieving those. So whether you want to be a part of one of the student organizations that's themed around your major or interest, definitely jump into that, right? If it takes some time, like a couple of terms to get into it, perfectly fine, no pressure, but we want you to connect as much as possible. And then with that connection leads into networking is a vital part of your success, academically and professionally. Think about, as you are in your courses, connect with your peers in those discussions. You hear something that stands out to you, you know, say something about it. And that can be an easy way to bridge a gap in connection with a peer who can, hopefully become a good connection for you all. I see you all making those connections, in the chat right now about where you're from, your interests, your majors. That's a great way to get that started and just let that continue throughout your time at SNHU. Also networking with staff and faculty. Some of you may choose to go into a graduate program. If not, that's perfectly fine. You may end up going in, to a new job or something along those lines to where you will need a reference, right? So having someone from an academic lens that can support you in that, whether it's a faculty member, an academic advisor, it's great for you as you move forward. And just in this online space, I know it can be a little bit different in trying to network, but just know that people are eager to connect, just like you all are connecting right now. But that's all I wanted to share with you, is to remember PEN, persist, engage, network, and know that that is the mantra that we use to support you within your first year experience at SNHU. So glad that you all are going to be in the SNHU family and looking forward to some of the great work that you're going to do. And I'm going to hand it back over to Melanie.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. J. I absolutely always love hearing all the things that you have to say about just students. Remember, like, connect yourself to the university in a way that works best for you, because we're just really excited that y'all are here. And like Dr. J mentioned, for many of you, this might be your first class. For some of you, you've had a couple of classes here under your belt already, maybe at SNHU, or maybe you're a transfer student from another university. Whether you're just starting school, you've tried before and it didn't work out. Maybe you're getting a degree in something you've always wanted. Maybe you're the first one in your family to go. There's a lot of emotions that come with that, right? So tell me in the chat, tell us in the chat, I guess, like, how are you feeling about starting like this next class? Whether it's your first one, your second one, your third one, like, what are the emotions you're going through? Because I'm going to tell you, you're not alone, okay? And as we navigate adding classes to our schedule, or even just taking a new class from term to term, we want you just to remember that you got this, okay? You are 100% worth this journey. We know that you are capable of getting your degree by finishing your classes. And sometimes we just need that reminder ourselves, right? So I want you to say out loud to yourself, like, I got this, or write it in the chat. That's your first assignment. I just want you to remember, there's always a lot of sunshiny, amazing days, but there's also some kind of, days that maybe don't go so amazing. And so I just want you to remember, like, I got this, I can do this. And sometimes we have to say that out loud, or we have to type it to really believe in it, right? And I see you guys typing it. Awesome job. So just a really quick overview of what IDS 105 kind of encompasses for your next 8 weeks is you will have 6 discussion assignments. As y'all know, with discussion assignments, your initial post is where you are answering a series of questions that's posted within the module, right? You will answer those questions by Thursday of every module. You have a discussion assignment assigned, and then you'll respond to at least 2 of your classmates by Sunday. All right. Week 1, it is very important to remember your time zone, okay? Because week 1, that initial discussion post is due on Thursday at 11:59 p.m. East Coast time, all right? After that, it goes to your time zone. But it's really important for your discussions. Every time you have a discussion assignment, there will be a list of questions that you just have to answer, and you answer them using your personal or professional experiences or even your academic experience, what you've learned in the class with the modules and the reading and the videos you're going to be watching. And then when you respond to your classmates, you're engaging with your classmates and creating that dialogue. So can you respond to more than 2 of your classmates? Of course you can. Just make sure you at least substantially respond to at least 2 of them. And then also, a lot of students will always ask, can I do my discussion assignment earlier than Thursday or do my peer responses earlier than Sunday? Of course you can. Do what works best and is convenient for you. Just make sure that you have stuff submitted by the due dates and deadlines. Along with that, students also ask me for day 1, is there a certain time I have to log in or a certain time I have to access my classroom? No, just make sure you're adhering to the due dates and deadlines, okay? So for IDS 105, you have 6 discussions and then you have 2 journal assignments. So for the journal assignments, there's a series of questions that you're answering and you are writing your thoughts and you're submitting that via a Microsoft Word document or something compatible. You have a warm-up. Warm-ups are like an open book quiz. They are automatically graded. You get multiple attempts on them. So don't let the word warm-up or quiz make you nervous. Again, it's open book. You review the module content and any required reading or assignments and then take those. And then you're going to have the project. So you have 4 project drafts and they literally feed right into a final project. So you will work on project drafts in week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. You're going to pick a scenario that you're going to use all term long, and you're going to answer questions based off of your personal, professional, academic experience and that scenario for those project drafts. And then for the final project, you're basically just cleaning up those project drafts based off of your graded feedback, and you're going to be putting together a final project or a guidebook. Okay, don't let that sound overwhelming because for the project, you're literally working on it assignment by assignment all term long. We have webinars for all of those assignments, all of those drafts, and we have a special webinar that's dedicated to completing that final project, that guidebook. Plus, your instructors have so many helpful announcements they will post and emails they'll send out throughout the term on all of your assignments. So I just wanted to make sure that you kind of got an overview of what your class entails. Okay, everybody good with that before I move on? I'm going to check the chat just really quick. I love that there's so many of you joining from all over. And you know what? You're not alone in your emotions of being a little bit nervous, a little bit overwhelmed, excited, and nervous. It is normal to feel all of these feelings or a variety of those feelings. So tip number 1 is to prioritize your time. Okay. How many of you have mapped out your SNHU study time? Like you know who and what is a priority in your everyday so that you can accomplish the things that you need to get done. That is one thing with adding school to your schedule. I'm sure as many of you know that have taken a couple of classes now, that when you add school to an already busy schedule, you really have to make some decisions on who and what and where your time goes, right? So carefully choose those options so that they align with your goals. Tip number 2, you guys are getting an A+, you're already doing this, is making connections. Get to know your classmates. You know, engage with them, dialogue with them in the discussion boards, you know, join SNHU Connect, reach out to students here in the IDS 105 learning community, get to know students in different clubs and organizations, make the connections because it makes your college experience even more profound, okay? Also, don't be afraid to get to know your faculty and get to know the SNHU departments. We are here to help you and want you to be successful. So often I hear from students that they're nervous to reach out or connect with their faculty or to ask questions of their faculty, and know that we want you to reach out to us. We want you to ask those questions because we want you to feel confident in the assignments that you're submitting and be able to pass our classes so you can go to the next course and all the way to your degree. All right. Tip number 3 is purchasing your electronic textbook and getting connected. Has anybody purchased their textbook yet for class? One of the things I wanted to point out to you all is if you're stuck on this, you're not sure how to do it, you're nervous about it, it makes you overwhelmed, you can just reach out to your advisor and they will walk you through it step by step. Okay. Now, to purchase your ebook and get connected, it's really helpful to go to the Start Here area of your actual classroom. But I wanted to point out you can log into Brightspace, and when you log into Brightspace, there is a help title, click on the down arrow, click on Online Student Services. And when you do that, across the top, you're going to see all the different departments and universities here that are a click away for your success. Click on SNHU Bookstore, put in your course code, put in that you're taking your class as an online student, add it to your cart and check out just like you were on Amazon, okay? But I know if you're new to doing this, it can seem a little daunting. It can seem a little overwhelming. So if you're stuck, you're not sure how to access all the things, take a big old deep breath, don't stress, reach out to your advisor, okay? The other thing is with your electronic textbook, you should have gotten an email that was sent to your university email that also reminds you how to purchase it and how to get it connected. Plus, there's tons of tips and helpful videos underneath that Start Here area of your IDS 105 classroom for using Vital Source, which is where your book is. I know some of you are mentioning that you got like a physical copy. I have some students that will purchase that physical copy and they will never open it. They will only utilize the ebook. I get it. We like to hold the book. We like to highlight the book. We like to do all the things with the book. But when you get used to the electronic textbooks, they're literally only a click away on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer at all times. So it can be a really great way to always have those with you. So if you're stuck on that, again, reach out to your advisor and they will make sure that you have everything that you might need. Okay. Now, tip number 4 is the backup plan. I'm going to pause just real quick and I want to make sure everybody, okay, you guys all feel good about most things. You know to reach out to your advisor. Okay, wonderful. Backup plan. Have you thought about what you will do if your computer breaks or whatever you're doing your classes on? Maybe you're doing your classes on your phone, tablet, computer. What if your Wi-Fi goes out? What if your work schedule changes? What if somebody was going to help you take care of whoever you might be taking care of in your household and plans change? Have you thought about it? This is your reminder to make sure you have a solid backup plan in place. Okay, all kinds of things happen. Number 1, make sure that you write down your instructor's email address and phone number every term, every class. Do the same thing with your advisor, because that way if something comes up, you have a way to reach them. I tell students every term that computers break. I had a brand new computer break. I had it a couple of weeks, black screen of death. They had to like send it away. I got a new one. Same thing happened to that one. Like, what? How does that happen? It's brand new, but it happens. I've had students that phones have been broken, tablets have been broken. They've broken fingers, arms, work schedules change, kids get sick, they get sick. Also, like natural disasters come into play. Snowstorms knock out power, hurricanes took out power, Wi-Fi. Think about making sure you have those backup plans. So if like something happens with your technology, like your Wi-Fi, where can you go to still turn in your assignments? Local libraries are an amazing hidden gem. They also usually have computers you can utilize too. McDonald's has free Wi-Fi, coffee shops, Panera, depending on the size of town you're in, you might have all kinds of options, but almost everybody has Wi-Fi, or your friends or family have Wi-Fi. They should be hopefully willing to let you pop on over so that you can utilize maybe computers or Wi-Fi should you need it. But the biggest thing is make sure that if you have something come up that is preventing you from turning in an assignment on time, you communicate with your instructor. Because if we know, as your faculty, we're able to work with you and support your success. I've had students that have reached out and said, hey, life happened this week. Like kids got sick, I got sick, my assignment is going to be late. Or they were out of electricity for the week because of maybe a snowstorm. And I'm like, that's weird. Why didn't James turn in his assignment? And then I get an email that's like, hey, this happened. Can I still turn this in? Well, of course I'm going to work with you, right? Your faculty are going to do the same thing. Your faculty can always say no, but it's 100% no unless you ask the questions and keep us in the loop on what's happening, okay? You guys are adults. If something comes up, something's not going to be done on time, make sure you reach out and communicate for your success. Okay, sound good? Tip number 5 kind of goes with tip number 1 about knowing who and what is a priority on your list, but you have to have a to-do list. You need to know what you're responsible for, both inside and outside the classroom. So you want to do this in a way that works best for you. Do I have anybody who's like, I stay organized with my planner? I stay organized with like alarms and notes in my phone. I stay organized with Post-it notes. I was telling the students earlier, I have Post-it notes everywhere with lists of things that I have to do. Whatever works for you is the best thing that you want to do for your success. And I also have students that have told me when there's multiple people in their household, some of them have like big whiteboards or chalkboards and they kind of have where everybody's going and what they need to get done. as a way to kind of just stay organized so that they don't feel overwhelmed. They plan that kind of every week. I've had students that speak into their phone using the voice note feature, and they do it before they go to bed, and they kind of just go over what things they need to get done the next day. That is what works for them. Okay. So do whatever works best for you. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be super crazy. Just take a minute and think about, okay, I need to plan out my study time. I need to know what I'm responsible for in this class or these classes, and then what I have to do either at work or at home, just to give yourself kind of a moment of feeling like you have everything kind of planned out to the best of your ability. Okay, plans can always change, but when we plan ahead, it allows us that flexibility. Also, a top tip is a lot of students always tell me if they're able to with their schedule, they like to work on assignments earlier in the week versus later in the week. So for example, they might turn in their discussions on like Tuesday or Wednesday versus Thursday. And then they might turn in any other assignments before Sunday. So it kind of gives them a day or two kind of off to kind of reset and regroup for the next term. Again, everybody's schedule is different. I had students this term that worked nights. And their weekends were different, like their Monday was a Saturday, so things are different for all of you, but do what works best for you, but find a way to make sure you know what is due and what you need to have happen both inside and outside the classroom. Tip number 6, I've covered it a lot already, but I needed to put it in print just as a reminder. Communication is key. I cannot stress enough the importance of reaching out if you have questions, if you're stuck on something, if life has happened, reach out, because we can support you and make plans for your success to either get you back on track or keep you on track when we know what is going on. Every department here at SNHU has an email address, they have a phone number. Check your faculty that My Instructor announcement. It tells you kind of if they have any office hours. It tells you how to get a hold of them and best communicate with them. Make sure you're paying attention to those shall you need to reach out and ask those questions. Like I mentioned, the webinars are here for your success. Every single week, when they are on demand, which most of them for IDS 105 are on demand, they're pre-recorded, they're loaded bright and early every Monday morning of the new module. You can go in there, here's the links, and you can click on the week you want to watch, and it just walks you through the assignments and the content and the concepts from week to week. If the webinars are a little bit long for you, they're usually like under 30 minutes. Some of them are even like under 15, 20. But if they're a little bit long for you, watch the focus videos. They're all under 5 minutes, and they do the same thing. They just walk you through things a little bit more briefly, or they might focus on like one specific assignment. So just know that these things are here for your success. Tip number 8, I love this one. Who is supporting you on this journey? Who is somebody that's maybe motivating you to go back to school, or somebody that is going to help you maybe at home so you can do school? Maybe they are somebody that's going to like cheer you on or review your writing assignments, tell you those hard truths when you need to hear them, when you have those not so great days. I want you to think of those people, and I want you to keep them close to you, because you don't have to do this alone. And for some of you, you might not have somebody outside of SNHU. SNHU resources might be your success team, and that is 100% okay, because we are happy to be here and support your success. Tip number 9 is to use your feedback. So every week, when you turn in your assignments, your instructors will grade that work, and they will leave you feedback on what you did well, what you might need to change, or any resources you can utilize for your success. Sometimes students get confused on how that feedback works. So for example, next week, Monday, March 4th is when you start classes. So week 1, you have your initial post due by Thursday, peer responses, and any other assignments due by Sunday, right? After you turn those assignments in, your faculty have that next 7 days to grade. So some faculty grade as things come in, some faculty grade throughout that week of week 2, some faculty you might not see your grades until Sunday night. And that's okay, because we have those 7 days to grade assignments. But it is so important that you are utilizing the feedback that your instructor is leaving you, so you know what you did well, what you might need to fix, and any resources to use for your success. Because often I might have students that are struggling, and I've left them feedback, and I've emailed them to check their feedback, or like let them know what's happening, and I don't hear from them because they're not checking their grades and they're not checking their university email. Do not make those mistakes. Okay, always check your grades, always check your class announcements, always check your SNHU email address because that's how the university communicates with you. And you could be losing points or struggling in your classes because you're not paying attention to those areas. And we want you to do your best. So always make sure you're checking on those and utilize the feedback for your success. You've heard me talk a lot about utilizing your resources here at SNHU, and I just want to remind you, you have so many departments here pulling for your success within the university, from your instructors to your advisors. The career team even works with students early in their terms. You don't have to wait until you're getting ready to graduate. The academic support team, has anybody used the academic support team? I know some of you guys mentioned that you've taken a couple of classes here at the university. Students always tell me they love the tutors, whether it's a 24/7 tutoring system that's a click away, or the personal one-on-one tutors, or they love the written feedback service, which is any of your writing assignments that are SNHU related. You can submit them to the written feedback team, and they will look at some targeted feedback to give you ideas of things you might need to change or how your assignment reads, which is super helpful, especially if academic writing is not your strong suit, or you've been out of school for a while, or you're new to this. It can just really help you feel more confident in your writing assignments. Plus, you have SNHU Connect, which houses the student clubs and organizations, and you have the library and the help desk. With SNHU Connect, I do want to remind you guys too, that is outside of your Brightspace classroom. If you go to see where, and I'll show you when we do the classroom tour, if you go where all the online student services are, you'll see an access point for SNHU Connect. It is a separate login. And that's created about 7 to 10 days after you register for classes. So if you don't have access yet, don't stress, it will be coming. And then outside of the classroom, you have those personal and social supports that are outside of SNHU. This might be your significant other, this might be parents, kids, friends, coworkers, extended family, pets, they count too. But none of it matters. Like, there's this huge list in front of you, but none of this matters unless you are advocating for your success and reaching out and asking questions and utilizing the resources that you have. Okay. I got ahead of myself. Reminder about the learning community. It just takes that 7 to 10 days for your login to be created. But I saw a question in the chat too about how you access that. It's outside your classroom space, and I will take a minute and show you guys where to find that. So that is most of the content, but I want to take a minute and actually physically walk you guys through an academic classroom. So this is actually my current academic classroom. So don't pay attention to the dates and things like that because it's currently what's happening. But I wanted to point out, when you get into your IDS 105 classroom, here at the top, you have kind of your menu of services. If you click on course menu and you go to announcements, that is where you will be able to see when you first log in. It looks like this. You'll see any announcements on the right. You'll see who your instructor is, their email address real quick. But what I wanted to point out is, if you click on course menu and announcements, you can always look at all the announcements that your instructor has posted through the term. Make sure you're not missing anything. Learning modules is where you'll find all of your class content from week to week. As a reminder, click on Start Here. And why I say this is because your syllabus is here. A lot of students skip right over this part. Your syllabus is kind of your policies and rules for your classroom, plus an overview of everything you need to do here in IDS 105. There's also a great IDS 105 video to watch, but I know some of you were overwhelmed with the electronic textbook and like Vital Source and what all that means and how to do all the things. There's a ton of videos and support tutorials right here for you in that Start Here area of your classroom. Okay, so I wanted to make sure I pointed that out for you, for all of you that are taking IDS 105. As a reminder, Module 1 is week 1, Module 2 is week 2, all the way through week 8. Up here at the top, you have access to the Shapiro Library. So if you're concerned about citing sources, not sure how to do things, they have a wonderful citation guide. Plus, you can always access the Shapiro Library homepage. The librarians are absolutely stellar. I don't know if any of you guys have worked with them, but they're absolutely incredible, and they're really great at answering questions. Academic support, when you click on them, that gives you the menu of services from the academic support team: workshops, one-on-one tutoring, academic coaching, the 24/7 drop-in tutoring. That's just like a click away, quick questions. The written feedback service is what a lot of students utilize to upload and submit drafts on any writing assignments, and they get targeted feedback within 12 hours. Students tell me all the time they wish they would have used it sooner. So that's kind of a top tip for you, to utilize it now versus waiting until later in the term, because it really helped them with their writing assignments and their grades overall. The last thing I want to show y'all is right here on this help button. If you click this down arrow, you have a quick access to the IT help desk. So anything technical that's not working right, something's kind of just stuck or you're not sure on something or something's not loading right, always reach out to the SNHU help desk. There's also these helpful student tutorial videos. If you click on that, it brings you to a YouTube playlist that has how to access, go through your Brightspace, how to find assignment guidelines and rubric, your feedback and grades, discussion boards. It's a really great place for you to explore when you have some time. Students miss it, so I always like to point that out. The biggest thing is, though, if you click on online student services, this is always where you can find all the departments here at the university on one page. So you'll notice as you scroll through, quick access to the bookstore, always click the blue, gets you to where you want to go. You have the bookstore, advising, the help desk. Here is another link for academic support. You also have the library, student financial services. I wanted to point out, if you didn't know already, as an SNHU student, you get access to Office 365 for free as an SNHU student. You want to click the blue, follow the prompts, and it's able to be downloaded to your system, whatever you're utilizing to do your courses in. The biggest reason to get Office 365 or have Microsoft Word or something compatible is because that is the templates that your project drafts and your final project and your journals need to be submitted in, or all Microsoft Word documents or something compatible. Okay, so make sure you have that right off the gate. If you have questions, you get stuck, again, reach out to the help desk or your SNHU advisor. I know there were some questions about how to access SNHU Connect. Right here is a direct link into the SNHU Connect, the learning community. And once you're in there, you can explore different clubs, groups. You can search IDS 105 learning community. We'll pop right up to, and you can join there. There's a bunch of students already in there saying hello, talking about getting started in the term and just kind of a little bit about them. Some other resources that are on here is SNHU Career Services. It's never too early to work with them. And of course, SNHU Wellness, which I know it's at the bottom, but a lot of students tell me that they really love the resources and support that are offered within this clickable online resource for SNHU students too. So that is all of the things that I wanted to make sure that I talked about today as far as the top 10 tips for you guys to get started. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see the chat and make sure that I got all your guys' questions. Was this helpful? Like, did this help kind of ease your concerns about IDS 105, where to find things? Next week's webinar for Module 1 literally walks you through all of the assignments, okay, for Module 1. So don't go into it super deep right here. Oh, you know what? One more thing I wanted to show you guys. Hold on just a second. I'm going to share my screen one more time. I almost forgot. Make sure you guys can see my screen again real quick. Perfect. Is a lot of students want to know where to find the discussion board. I almost forgot. So underneath course menu, when you click on discussions, that takes you to a quick link of all the discussions for the entire term. But you can also click on learning modules. And when you do this, something I wanted to point out is you click on module 1. So like, for example, for next week, you always want to click the blue. It gets you to where you want to go. But the big thing I want to point out is every module will pull up this like introduction overview. It's a lot of scrolling. You got to scroll down. You got to click over. Okay. But what I want you guys to know for IDS 105 is there is so much content within the module that you want to review in addition to any video or assigned reading. Okay. I get a lot of questions about, where is this? I didn't see this in the reading. It's because it was within the module. All right. So you'll notice there's a lot of text in here that you want to make sure that you are reviewing, because you will be asked questions about this content. All right. For example, one of the big things for this next couple of weeks is the core principles of social justice. It's within the module content. Okay. So don't forget this point. I try to remind students every week that that's there, but I wanted to give you that top tip as you're getting started for next week. There's always a required resources section also that'll tell you what textbook chapters that you might be responsible for reading, any helpful videos or websites or additional reading you might need to go to, plus some helpful support videos that might just be an optional service for you too. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I pointed out those things for you, just because students can sometimes forget that those things are there, and then I don't want you to be running around looking for it. Like, make sure you've reviewed the assigned reading, watched any videos, but also check what's within the module. That's a top tip for your success. Just a reminder with the discussion board, in case you're not familiar with the discussion board, next week's webinar will go all the way through it. But what I wanted to point out to you is when you have your discussion, you're always going to have a series of questions that you're answering. Okay, that's what's called your initial post. So, like for example, for next week, you're introducing yourself, sharing a little bit about you, and then you have some questions to answer. Always make sure you're answering all pieces and parts of the question itself. Okay, as you go down and you're ready to like share your thoughts, you always want to click on Start a New Thread. And I have some students that tell me that they type up their discussion post in like Microsoft Word, and then they spell check it, make sure they wrote complete sentences, and then they come over and they copy and paste it into the text box. However you want to do it. But that way they have a backup in case anything technical happens. So you just type right in here. So week 1 intro as an example. And then you would just click on post. Okay. Once you do that, you would be able to see your actual discussion post posted. It would look something like this. So you'll notice again, click the blue, gets you where you want to go. Let's say I wanted to respond to this classmate's discussion post. I click on the title of it. It's going to pull up whatever my classmate had to say. And as I scroll down, I can click on that reply to thread and I can type right in here and click submit or post. Okay, so I just wanted to point out that real quick in case you're not familiar with the discussion board, just some really quick pieces, because sometimes students are like, I just need to know where to click and what to do. So that is all that I have officially now for today. Any other questions or anything that I missed? Today's session was recorded, so let me post that recording link. Hold on just a second. Let me grab that for you guys. But it was recorded. It'll be up here within 24 hours. As soon as I get this session done, I'll download this recording and it'll be uploaded to our First Year Experience YouTube page. That is where you will find the webinars all term long. So I have a lot of students that tell me they like to bookmark this page. And they just go in there right away on Monday morning and kind of look over how to do the assignments and anything that they might have questions on. As a reminder, you're going to be amazing. We are so excited for you to continue or to begin your journey here at SNHU. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions to your instructor, your advisor. Get into the learning community as soon as you can. Remember, nothing's graded in there. It's all optional, but it's definitely here for your support and your success. And we're just really excited to welcome you again or officially to the SNHU family. So thank you all, everybody. That's it for today. Dr. J, thank you for joining us today. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. And remember, you got this. Good luck next week.